All right, guys. I'm going to open the floor to the questioning in 1 minute, but I want to ask you, I was in the room yesterday. This was unbelievable. What was you feeling, to all of you, at the end of the screening? Taron, you were like...
Crying.
All right, let's stop talking about it. I got a bit emotional. It was one of the best days of my life. We've worked really hard to try and make something that we're all really proud of, and it's not your typical biopic. We don't deal with the songs in a chronological order. There's elements of fantasy. We take some license with the truth. In the interest of full disclosure, people did not float off the ground at the Troubadour.
Are you sure?
You know, and the response has been so wonderful. And for me personally, thank you so much to everyone that said nice things. You've made a young man from Aberystwyth incredibly happy, and you've made a 72-year-old rock star even more happy. So thank you so much.
Dexter?
Yeah, I think, like, to echo what Taron and Richard are saying, you know, it was very emotional for a number of reasons to sit there with Bernie Taupin and Elton and David Furnish, his husband as well, you know, and have that moment where they get to sit and watch the film all together, and us be there, you know, as the filmmakers and experience it with them. Was, I think, more emotional than any of us ever really expected. I mean, we thought, hey, we're going to Cannes, it's going to be a great night, and we're all going to sit and watch a movie, that's fantastic. But then, of course, you know, the enormity of what you're faced with the people whose lives it's very real for them, you know. And there's obviously, you know, the movie attempts to be emotional and you know, touches on some very deep-rooted feelings and moments in their lives. And to see that really visceral, emotional reaction from Elton and from Bernie, I think for us all was a bit of a, you know, took us back. And so it was great to be caught up in that and be part of that whole journey really for them, because it's a long journey for them.
Bryce?
This is a privilege, because normally when you're telling the story of someone's life, they're gone, you know, and there was none of that loss. It was only celebration at the end. And I think that's something, you know, to hear Elton crying just a few seats away from us, I mean, that is incredibly surreal, and what an honor to be a part of that, you know, my goodness.
Absolutely.
Well, it was one of those screenings. We got a question right here.
Good afternoon, Peter Howell from the Toronto Star in Canada. Congratulations on the movie, enjoyed it a lot. I have a question for Taron Egerton and Dexter Fletcher. Did Elton give you any specific instructions or advice on how he wanted to be portrayed? And also, did he tell you anything that he did not want put in the movie?
Well, we can't tell you that. Oh, no. Do you want to go?
I think our primary concern and our mandate was always that we were going to try and tell a story that didn't try and... It's a celebration that doesn't mean that we've sought to deify Elton or make him flawless or perfect. We wanted to tell a human story. Elton is an extraordinary human being, but he's still a human being, and so that's why you see the troughs as well as the peaks. It was a risk on many levels, and we have been very fortunate in that we've had a very brave studio work with us to achieve that, and we are so proud. And you know, Elton, not a lot makes him blush, so you know he's very at peace with us telling the story in that way.
Yeah, he was always very clear from the beginning, and when I first read the script and when we first started discussing it, he's very clear that he didn't want it to be self-serving. There's no upside for him in that, and he's always been very clear and honest and open about who he is, and the film attempts to reflect that and be a part of that as well. And so I think that's one of its great strengths, is that it's not hidden, and that's why it's so full of this kind of joy and joie de vivre, you know, this kind of lust for life almost, really. That's what it's trying to communicate and be a part of that. And the answer to your question is generally no. There wasn't anywhere, there was nowhere that I couldn't shine a light. There was no dark corner where he was like, don't go, you know. If it serviced what the film needed and wanted to be at any particular time, then that's where we went. And he backed off and let us play. He let us tell the story. And that was the great strength of it, And so that's why I feel that it is a success on so many levels for us personally, but for him as well. It's very important that he loves it.
Right, we have a question over there.
Hi, my name is Marcus. I work for One Press TV in Sweden. I want to ask Taron Egerton a question. What did it mean to you to play the role as Elton John, and how did you prepare yourself for the role?
I think, the thing about Elton and the reason the movie has garnered such attention and focus is because Elton is as much an idea and he's a global phenomenon, and people feel a sense of ownership over Elton's work because these songs, they highlight moments in our lives, which is why everyone feels such a personal investment in him and his life story. So to portray him has felt like a huge honor and a huge responsibility, and it just feels the enormity of it is borderline overwhelming. So there's that, but then also I've gotten to know him, and I'm very proud to call him a friend, and he is the kindest, most interested, warm man, and that has always that has made it feel very important to me. In terms of preparation, you immerse yourself in his music, and the invaluable thing, and this echoes what Bryce was saying, my great privilege and my great fortune was that I was able to spend a lot of time with him and talk to him about anything. So I prepared by being with him largely, and having that wonderful privilege of being able to know everything, because you really can ask him anything. He's so much fun. Yes. I mean, he'll tell you everything.